it's on my desktop, but again, I couldn't get in. Remember?
Refresh your page. I've got it going on right now. And all you need to do is talk. You need to even look at the page because it'll pop off. It'll start to do what it needs to do.
Right, let me try. So it's Mickey Bricks.
Yep. Mickey.
Key. All right, it's coming up. Hang on here. Okay, Mike Lang, I show you. And I clicked it and it's nothing. It's not letting me join.
All right, don't worry about it. You should be good in terms of, I can hear you through my microphone, so it's popping up. So we're good there.
Okay, if you say so. I did download it though. Okay.
Yeah, all right. All right, ladies and germs. Let me make sure this is actually doing what I needed to do. Come on. Oh, man, I hate that. Ah, man, messed the link up again. Mike. This is going to kill me. So this is the last time I have to stop fooling with it because of I'll take the time doing yours in order to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do this. I need to stream this. Oh, Oh, we're there already. So
now I can't see who's here. Like I can't see anything. So I'm just going to trust that.
Don't worry.
Okay, you tell me when to go and I'll just talk.
All right, let's see if everybody's here. If you're here watching, if you could put your name in the chat, definitely appreciate it. If you're not here, give me just a second. I'm going to go and doctor this link really, really quickly again. It's been fun time today. Refresh your page if you happen to be on the page right now, because we're streaming live right now. Give us just a second, and we're going to rock and roll. Get Brown's thing done. Yeah, it's still there. It's just not. Update the video link very quickly. That's why it's the wrong video link. Excellent. Hopefully that is going to do what I want it to do now. There we go. All right, so refresh your page. If you're there, we should be nice and live. Excelente. We're good to go, Ms. Brown.
I don't see anybody in the chat, so do you want me to refresh or I'm good?
No, you're good. They're going to have to refresh their page, unfortunately, on Hey Summit. So refresh your page. This is the last time. I swear this is the last time. Early morning jitters. Let's go to respond. Let's go to reply to all. Your page for the Google Docs session. I'm going to redo the links in a minute. All right, so we should be good. All right, emails out to them. When you get into here, go ahead and throw something in the chat. Brown, the brave new world of technology.
Well, I've talked to you about this before. It's refreshing when somebody that's supposed to know technology struggles, because then it makes us feel feel like we're not alone.
It's part of
inadequate.
It's a part of the process of what's the problem, figuring out the problem, diagnosing the problem, and fixing the problem. So it's not a omnipotence thing. It's simply knowing enough to say, cool, this didn't go right. How do we fix it? And so that's the big thing. So,
oh yay, I see
hey,
people coming. Okay, that's good.
That's the big thing. So it's kind of again, as you go to your distance learning, kind of what Brown just said. Yo, it's not going to go perfect. Don't stress out the fact it's not going to go perfect, because it's not going to go perfect. It's absolutely positively not going to go perfect. No worries.
We are all going to struggle at some point.
No, the point is, how can you figure out what went wrong and prepare for what went wrong? That's the big deal. So that is the $64,000 question. So I'm here with Amy Brown. If you wouldn't mind throwing your name inside the chat so she knows who's in the house with her tonight. So Ms. Glaza, much appreciated. She's going to kind of go over Google Docs. As she's going over Google Docs, I'm going to go and kind of fix the links on the back side here to ensure that we have smooth sailing for the rest of the time that we have together. But Brown is a music teacher that I work with. She's amazing. She is someone who has gone from zero to hero in a very short amount of time in terms of tech integration. And she's going to kind of walk you through docs, screencasting, slides, and what else, Brown, today?
Forms today. After this is forms. Form, screen recording, and then slides, and then tomorrow I'll do Google Drive.
All right, so we're going to kind of walk through those things today. And Geese is here, the former Miss Perrine. So we're going to let her get started. Brown, go ahead and share your screen. I'm going to fade to black, and I'll pop back and forth as I'm fixing the links on the back end side.
And if you all have a question and you put it in the chat, Lang will be able to see it and he'll interrupt, because when I present, I'm just talking to the screen. I see absolutely nothing. So we're going to do a tag team here.
All right, I'll light that up. And
so hopefully you guys can see this. Mike, can you just give me a verbal, you can see this so I can...
The screen looks good.
It's good, you can see it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, let's get started then. Who am I? He already said I'm the music specialist at Deering Elementary. There's just a couple of credentials that I have, and I've started using tech integration in music lessons for about the past 5 years now. Just very simple things, and I continuously learn from Mike and Webbs, his business partner. It's just a personal, professional development thing with me. I always want to get better. And like we just said, it's always interesting to see people struggle, because even the best of us struggle. And so just know that you're going to do things and things aren't going to work, but we're going to be in it together. So Mike is a great resource, and I'll have my information at the end. If you need anything at all, just feel free to reach out. So today on our agenda, and we'll see how quickly we can move. I don't want to rush through the material, but we might even be able to get us back somewhat on the schedule of being on the hour. We'll see what we can do. Focusing on collaboration and lesson planning today with this distance con. That was kind of the theme that Mike asked for. And so we're going to first take a look at some templates for lesson planning in Google Docs. We're going to talk about collaboration for teachers, and we're going to talk about collaboration and feedback with students. So this is not going to be a, hey, let me show you everything about Google Docs and this is how you do this. We're going to just mainly focus on these three aspects today. So the first thing I'm going to tell you before we look at some examples of some templates is that you really want to work with your team. Now, it's a little different when you're a specialist in the building, or if you're the only one teaching that content area. A lot of times you don't have someone to draw on and work together with, but I highly suggest that you probably know people in your district that are all in that same area. And so you could totally reach out and have a little core group of you that you all decide to do something together. So I'll approach it from a specialist view in a little bit, but right now I'm just talking about the teachers where you're a third grade team or you're a math team in high school or whatever it is, that this is where you really will get some things that'll save you some time. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to escape this and go over to just a basic Google Doc. And the first thing we always want to, if you've taken any sessions with me this summer, my motto is work smarter, not harder. There is no reason to reinvent the wheel if you already have something there that's built for you. So when you go into Google Docs, you're going to see the template gallery. And in the template gallery, they already have things that are made for lesson plans. And if you look right down here, once my screen comes up, there are 3 different ones that are already created. I am not sure why it's not bringing up the picture, but okay, we'll get there. These are already made. So if you want to just click on one of those and then you just rename, you name it yourself, and then you can build it in there. It's already made for you. The template is already made. You can also, once you have that template, you can just duplicate that. If you have that lesson plan and let's say the students aren't quite finished with that concept and you just need to carry it over, you can duplicate it and just change the weeks for the next week. So these are very simple. I am not sure why that's doing it. Let me just refresh the page. See, I struggle too, guys. Well, look at that. See, problem solving. Yay. All right. So here is just a really simple one right here that you can, it just has list of things. This one's a little more cutesy, little playful. You can add pictures and stuff. I'm just going to let you experiment with these on your own. And then this is a very basic one. So what I actually did was I took this one, a very simple plan, and I created it to be my own. Copy for myself. And Mike is going to put, if he hasn't already, he has a copy of my slideshow and he's going to drop that in the chat so you will have access to all of this. So you can see that this is very similar to what you just saw. And how I modified it was I based the lesson plan template on the components of an effective lesson. Because in CCSD and maybe in other districts, those are the things that we really focus on when we're delivering a lesson. So all I did was, for me as a music teacher, I want like a unit or a week number. As a classroom teacher, you might want this is unit 1 or this is unit 2, week 1 or whatever it is, to kind of keep everything a little organized. So you could just put the name of your lesson and then, who you are in case you're sending this to your admin. And then I put all of the things, the components of an effective lesson, and just made places where you can drop things in. All you do is you just click on it and you put your own content in. So we have the content standards. We'll talk about the Iste Standards here in just a minute, but you have your content standards, the materials you need, your objective, or at our school we call it a learning target. We have background knowledge, your direct instruction, your student practice, a closure, maybe an exit ticket, assessment, and if you're going to assign homework, that might be where that is. So this is just a template that you can use. It's in the slideshow. If you like this and want to use it, just feel free to do that. You can totally do that. Let's talk about, though, the Iste Standards, especially now that we are distance learning. Maybe you've never looked at them before and you don't even know what it is. The Iste Standards are what students are supposed to know with using technology integration in their in your lesson. So you have Iste Standards here. I'll have Mike put this link in here as well. It's just iste.org standards. You have Iste Standards for the students, so you can see what exactly are we supposed to be teaching students to prepare them for the 21st century job skills, and then what are we supposed to be doing as educators to do that. So even if you are, a lot of people, maybe some of your reluctance is, well, I'm not, like Mike teaches computer skills. That's his whole job at our school. And so a lot of people will say, well, that's Mike's job. That's not my job to teach them how to use the device or whatever. That may be a true statement. However, as educators, it's our responsibility to make sure that we are reinforcing these standards so that students are prepared. So whereas I might expect already that, hey, if Mike does his job and the kids know how to log onto a device, that when I give them an assignment, I'm also incorporating those standards. So especially now that we're doing this distance learning, this is a great time to look at these and put some of those Iste standards just to get your feet wet. Like, what should I really be doing? Put those in your lesson plan as a cross-curricular type thing. So that's one thing you can do, and he'll put that in for you. Now I have another template that you'll be able to access as well. And if you notice, all I did was I took the same content and I just made it, I'm a little more visually aesthetic. So I just added some text boxes. All I did was I went up here into the insert and I inserted a table and I just added one box or two boxes or whatever it is, and you can drag the line. So I just added that and then I put the words around it. Okay, so this maybe you feel this is a little more aesthetically pleasing to you or how it's laid out. It's the exact same content. It just is in a different pictorial format for you. Okay, so those are the different really, really simple things. Now let's talk about collaboration for a minute. We really want teams, not we, but it would make sense to me because I do everything kind of independently, being the only music teacher in my building. But if I were in a team, I would really hope that I have a team that we respect each other's opinions and that most importantly, we draw on each other's strengths. If you're not a strong person in one area and you know somebody else is, you go to that person and you ask them to work on that specific group of lessons. So maybe one person in your team is really fantastic at math, and they're going to go ahead and build the math lessons with your input. It's not going to be they just do everything and then they just share it with you. I'll show you how to have some collaboration and input. But if that's their strong point, you want to let them do that. Then one person takes your ELA, or one person takes the science, or whatever it is. Use each other's strengths. So the suggestion is, if you have a common lesson plan template, it's going to make things a lot easier for your team to do these things. So if I wanted to share this lesson plan template, I just go up here to the share button. And this is where I'm going to type and add their names. Now we'll do that in just a minute. You have to also look down here because it's always in Clark County, it's always going to be restricted. And so if you don't make this link available, every time someone goes to open it, it's going to be so-and-so has requested access to it. And okay, so the one thing, my nemesis when it comes to technology is I always forget this. I don't know how many times they're like, Jenny, if you're on the call, she asked me, hey, I can't open this document because I always forget this step. So I'm working on this as well. Making sure that instead of just Clark County School District, because I know there's some people of you that are on the call that are not in our district, making sure anyone with the link has it. That way you can copy it or you can share it easily, and then you won't have to worry about people asking for access. So if I wanted to, let me just say I wanted to share this with Mike. Mike has so many. Let me see if I can find his correct one here. He has so many emails. All right, there he is. All right, so I get ready. I type in Mike's name. Now, when you come over here, this is where you want to be really careful when you're sharing your lesson plans. You have three options. You can make that person an editor, they can just be a commenter, or they can be a viewer. So if you just want somebody to look at your plan or share it with them so they can use it, if they're never going to change it and all they're going to do is use it, like you have the plan, you've been in charge of math, and now you're going to send it out to everybody. You're going to make them a viewer. That's all the access they're going to need. When you get down here to the editor and commenter, you're going to have to make a decision. Okay, so if I might trust Mike with my life. And if I make him an editor, he's going to make changes, but I'm not always going to necessarily maybe see what those changes are unless it comes up in an email, or unless he emails me, or unless he puts it in a different color. You know, it could be potentially one time I look at it and go, hey, I don't remember typing that. So I would suggest, if you're in charge of a specific content area, you're in charge of one area, make the person a commenter, and then you are the only one making the changes. That way they're having the input, and then you can make all of the changes, and it's just you, and you'll know then what's going on. So I'm not going to send that to him because he doesn't need more things clogging his email. But that's how you would do that. So let's take a look at what that looks like. If I'm a commenter, okay, I'm going to use, this would come up, and I could then, let me highlight something. If I wanted to change this from materials, okay, let's say I've shared this with Mike, and he says, you know, I don't like that title of materials. When you highlight it, you're going to see that there's a comment button over here. So this is where I can say, I think we should call this super fun stuff. Okay, so you're going to make a comment, and then you can push the comment button, and I will be able to see that on the document. So everyone has collaborative rights. If you make them a collaborator, they can highlight the part they think they want to change or add. The little comment bubble will come up over here, and then they can give their feedback. Now, once you go into the more options on the bubble, you can edit that. Oh, I didn't really want to call it that after all. You can delete it, or you can link something to this comment. If I go back in and edit, let's say I want Mike to be the one to change it. So I say, Mike, I want you to name it for us. You know, what do you think it should be? So for it to go straight to him, you can assign a specific rename or a specific part of your lesson just by typing in the @ symbol. And then you can see that people that are in my realm of people I talk to quite frequently, their name just pops up. Okay, so I can just scroll down to Mike. All right, and then once I push save, this comment will go directly to him, and he can name it himself. What do you think is a better name? And then it would go directly to him. And if you're GLC leader or team leader, this might be a really good thing of how to divide tasks. If you're trying to collaborate and redo part of your lesson plan, or you're trying to make a template to start with, you know, assign everybody a part. And you can do that with the @ function. So that's something that's very useful as well. The other thing I wanted to show you is in the same comment, if you wanted to, I'm going to take his name out again. I don't want him to get a whole bunch of just stuff, but he's used to that. We do that all the time. All right, so let's say, what do you think is a better name? Let's base it on the Iste Standards. Okay, so now he may not know what the Iste Standards are. So I can come up and I can just copy that link. And I got to find out where I was. There I am. I can just paste that link. And when I push save, now that becomes a live link. So when he gets this, remember I would still have the @ in there. It would go to him, and then all he has to do, instead of typing it in or searching himself on the web, you can put the link right in there if you want to send someone on your team to a different place, and it can all be done right within Google Docs. So the key, hopefully, that you're getting out of this session is work right within the tool and work smarter as a team. You've got to be cohesive enough to trust each other and to get these collaborative parts in there. For students, so let's say you have a student, I don't know, they're writing an essay on whatever, agriculture. I'm thinking my son's AP geography class. So he's writing something on agriculture and he needs some help from his teacher. You can do the same thing, same way to collaborate. And this would be, you would just put this in here. And of course, for a student, you're going to want them to be a viewer. You're not going to want them to necessarily change. Like if you had something specific for, oh my goodness, there we go. Come on, there you are. If we had something specific for that you didn't want the students to change necessarily, you want to make them a viewer. However, it is, if it's their document and they're bringing it to me for feedback, you're going to have to teach them how to put my name in, and then I could either be an editor for them or even better, make them change it themselves. Don't do everything for them. Just say, hey, I want you to make me a commenter, highlight what they need to change if you're editing something for them, and then they can go in and resolve it themselves. Because honestly, if you just change everything for them, they're not gonna, learn from those mistakes and how to fix them. It's just going to be done for them. So I would suggest, excuse me, if a student is asking you for feedback, go through the process of typing the teacher's name in and making the teacher a commenter so that you can give feedback. The other thing, excuse me, let me get some water. If you want student-to-student discourse, okay, so let's say you still want them to work in groups. You have the old school of pre-COVID where with elementary students, all right, switch papers and let's go through the answers, and you mark each other's papers up and all that kind of stuff. If you want collaboration distance learning wise with students, do the same thing. So you would maybe assign, hey, Billy, you are always going to be partners with Jonathan. Think of how your classroom is set up. So in elementary school, we might have Kagan groups where you have shoulder partners and face partners. There's no reason why you can't assign those same things, even though we're distance learning. So in your procedures, hey, Billy and Samantha, you're always going to be partners when we do group work, or, assign those partners by, the high versus medium, high and low level. You can still do all that, even though we're distance learning. So then they would just make each other a commenter, and then they would be able to give feedback and present that to each other as well. Okay, so those are just some really simple, I don't want to send that to Mike, there we go. Those are some really, really simple things for using Google Docs as a collaboration tool and as a lesson plan tool. So let's go. Let's just kind of review here before we get some questions. Templates. If you have one template for the grade level, that's going to be very helpful. Consistency is the key. So if everyone's working on the same page, it just makes your team a lot stronger. Now, I said I'll go back to the elementary music specialist. So let's say somebody is really, really good at rhythm. They are fantastic at rhythm compositions. And then you have someone else that you're like, hey, this person would be really good at the melody portion, or this person would be good at this. If you form a little cohort, you could actually be saving yourself a lot of time, because right now you're making 20 some weeks of lessons that you're going to make by yourself. But what if, let's say for a 3-week time period, one person is doing melody and one person is doing rhythm. I'm making 3 lessons in the content area that I feel good about, And then those other people are sharing theirs with me. So now I have not only my 3 melody lessons, I have 3 rhythm lessons, 3 harmony, 3 form, 3 expressive qualities. And if you add all that up, now I've got what, 3 times 5. I already have 15 lessons for the whole year in different content areas. Okay, but I'm not just letting that person do all the work. We're collaborating and commenting and having dialogue back and forth. Just that one person is in charge. So if you're a specialist, that might be a way that you can work smarter and not harder. Use the tables for organization and neatness. If you just like that look, you can add tables to your lesson plan. And then duplicate. Don't try to, sometimes when we have a template, we go back to the template and we re-enter everything. If you know you're doing content standard 5.63 or whatever it is, and a lot of your lesson is the same, just duplicate the whole document and change the little pieces that you don't need to instead of trying to re-fat finger everything in. For collaboration, as far as teachers, make sure you decide what kind of sharing rights you want. Are you going to let them edit everything, or are you going to just make them a commenter and you do all the editing? Make sure you can assign. Remember, if you want to assign a certain task to people, just put the @ symbol in the comment box and it'll go directly to that person, and that will be their job, so to speak, to investigate. And then if you need to direct them to another website, you can put a link directly in the comment, so they don't have to look in an email they don't have to go between docs. They don't have to go to a doc and then check their email. It can all be open in that document. And as for students, they can definitely collaborate with each other and give feedback to each other, but you can also give feedback as well as the teacher if you teach them how to put that in and make you a collaborator. So at this point, if there's any questions, Mike is going to, let me get out of this.
So
if there's any questions, or if Mike wants to add, let me get back here.
I've got a question for you. Again, we have a scenario where a lot of the CCSD teachers in particular, are going to be moving from, they've been asked to use Canvas. How can I get my Google Docs into Canvas?
Okay, do you want me to pull, I don't have Canvas up. Do you want me to do that?
Oh, I'll actually, since I have it up really quickly, I'll do it.
Okay, perfect.
That way we can deal with it. And you can kind of provide the commentary as we go through.
Sure.
So here's my Canvas page, Ms. Brown.
Oh, wait, I got to stop sharing. Okay.
Should be good. Oh, let me spotlight mine. There we go.
Now I can barely see it, so this is going to be interesting. You might want to just go ahead and, because I can't see it at all.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go through it, all right? So,
okay. Yes.
On your Canvas page, and this is just the one that we used as an example for the first hour really quickly, you can bring your Google Docs into your Canvas instance in a number of ways, but there are the two easiest ways to do it is either by link or by embedding it. So you can create everything if you master or you're really comfortable with the Google suite of apps, or the apps, Google Apps for Education. It can be really, really powerful inside of the Canvas as well, without having to think about all of the Canvas things, just dealing with just the Google things. So it's just a page. So I'm hit the edit button here. And when I hit that edit button, and actually, let me make a new page because I don't want to go and destroy my work that
yeah, don't do that.
So I'm gonna go to my page.
Work smarter, Lang.
So create a brand new page. And if you're in Canvas, and we're gonna kind of do some like basic Canvas stuff tonight and every night this week, and I'll put that stuff in our Facebook group or whatever. We're simply gonna drag that down so we can see our space here, right? And I'm prepared right now. My page is prepared. Go here to, hey, I want to put this setting up Google Classroom quickly page into my Canvas course. So all I'm going to do is go over here to File. When I go to File, I'm going to go all the way down to publish to the web, and I'm going to click publish to the web. When I do this, there's going to be two options for me to publish. One is going to be by link, and one is going to be by embed. I'm going to choose the embed one. All right. When I hit the embed button, then I'm going to hit the publish button, or I can actually go down here and I can, if I wanted the kid to make sure they were in that Clark County School District account, I can do that and whatnot. Generally avoid that. It just creates more complication. Hit the publish button. It's going to say at the top, yo, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I'm sure. I don't have my social security number or anything on it. I'm not going to be compromised personally. So great. Here's my embed. All I'm going to do is copy it. And I'm going to hit right on back to my blank canvas sheet here. And on my blank canvas sheet, I'm going to have a number of like really cool superpowers up here, right? I'm going to go from left to right. So I have the ability to search by apps. Got the ability to throw any of my functions and stuff in there. I can throw tables in there. I can deal with my formatting and all the stuff. So all my superpowers at the top. But I can't forget to go down to the bottom, because this is where my publishing is going to be. If you spend your time at the top, you're going to miss this. At the bottom, you're going to see our HTML there. Click that. I'm just going to paste that inside there. All right. And once I click it once I paste it, I'm going to put it back. And you're going to see, give it a second to kind of like not be special. I'm just going to type docs there. And I'm going to hit the save button. And then I'm just going to come back and edit it, because sometimes it gets silly. And it's not going to let me drag that out. So this is what we're going to do. Let's refresh the page and see if that's the problem. It's not. Oh, fun times with Canvas. It's another reason why you should use Google Classroom. All right. Fun times with Canvas. 99,900 times out of 10,000, that works perfectly on the first go. There's something up with the actual formatting there, which is really interesting. So the other way to get things in there is linking it. Just saying, okay, cool, I want the link that's there. So again, that isn't successful for you. I'm simply going to create, let's just start typing here. This is the link to your document. I'm going to create that piece of text here. I could also use a picture or anything that's there. I'm going to highlight your document. And I'm going to see that there's a chain there at the very top. I'm going to click that. It's going to be an external link. External meaning outside of Canvas. So I'm going to click external links. The words that I'm going to be highlighted, or the words I want to be highlighted, are your document. I'm going to paste that inside there, hit done. And suddenly it tells me those things are blue. This is another thing that if you're going to use Canvas, you need to make your students aware of, that if you see blue text inside of the Canvas course, that's a link, and you need to go and follow where that link goes. Kids are not going to know that intuitively. Adults a lot of times don't know that intuitively either. So we need to go ahead and make sure that that works. So you click that thing. I can change the options there later on. I can edit it. So if that link isn't true, I can change it, or I can delete it and remove it totally. But I'm going to keep that link just like it is. I'm going to save it. And just to prove that it's true, it's underlined in blue. I'm going to click that, and that opens directly to that link. So more than one way to skin a cat there. Use the link if that doesn't work. The embed code doesn't work, use the link. If the link doesn't work, use the embed code. But one of those two things will work.
And I'll make sure for the future presentations that I make sure I have my Canvas up for the next one. I just didn't have it ready. So I'll make sure I add that at the end. And as far as Lisa, you'll be able to access that template, the one with the table that I made, if you download from the chat. I think Mike.
Share it again. I'm going to share it again.
Okay. He's going to share it right now. This is the link to the slideshow. And so if you just click on the picture, it'll say 2 templates. I'll show you up here. It says 2 examples. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
Alex, that's absolutely correct. So if you embed it in the upload media section, it should work as well. But generally, it should work no matter where we throw that inside there. But that's definitely something that Alex, word up. That's definitely true.
So you can just, when you go to the slideshow, just click on the picture. It says 2 template examples, and just click on, I believe it's the second picture, and that link to this to the lesson plan is linked to that photo. So let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to share my screen again, Mike. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, that's me sharing my screen.
All right. So here is here's what you'll see in the slideshow, 2 examples of attempt. And these 2 pictures are linked to the specific one. So if I just click on it, it's asking you to make a copy so you don't change my things, and you just make a copy and then you'll be able to have that. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Mike, was there any other question?
There's no other questions in the chat. It's 10:50, so we're right back.
See, I told you I could get us back on schedule.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. In terms of, you have an email for anybody watching on Facebook, you just keep watching. It's going to keep streaming. You're not going to have a problem. For our friends who registered and watching on YouTube, you have all 4 of the links now inside of your deal. All 4 of your links are inside your email, so that even if you get lost in the sauce of us switching from channel to channel, you have the ability to go ahead and do what you need to do. It's down 10:51, which is awesome sauce. Got a 10-minute break. We'll start up again at 11. We will see you at 11 o'clock.
11 is Google Forms.
Google Forms. Fun times.